Hello and welcome. This is Sebastian van der Schrier. I'm a former social anxiety disorder sufferer and a social confidence coach. And we have something very exciting coming up, the 30-day social confidence challenge. And so I asked a member of our team, her name is Kati, to interview me about this challenge and, ask me some challenging questions about the 30-day challenge. So Kati, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for having me, and let's get going. First of all, tell us about the challenge. What is it? How did you come up with it? What led to develop it? Give us a short overview.
Well, when COVID hit, I got stuck in a city, locked in, and I was trying to visit my daughter, but the city got, locked down, and I was in lockdown for a very long time. I had two 14-day lockdowns, and during that time, in order to A, not go insane, and two, do something productive with my time, and three, try to do something good in the world, I was like, I'm going to create a 30-day social confidence challenge so that once we're done with this whole lockdown stuff, that was kind of my pitch, everyone is more socially at ease. And so that's how I started creating it. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go all out. Every day is going to have a particular lesson that I've learned in the past 22, 23 years of obsessions with social anxiety solutions. And we're going to be tapping every single day. And my idea is to give people a real experience of the tapping combined with the best of psychology so that by the end of the 30 days, it's impossible for them to say, I can't overcome my social anxiety, or it's impossible to say tapping doesn't work, because there will be so much evidence, so much real experience of the tapping that, they can't say that anymore. So that's how it's got started.
Nice. Sounds promising. So, what can a participant expect? How does a typical day look like?
Well, it's very easy. Once you're signed up on Jan 1st, you get your first email, you click on it, you open it. There's a little story that explains a particular psychological concept. And then at the end of that 3-minute email, you click a link that opens a video, and there you see me in screen. It's like, okay, tap here. And then I'll guide you through a particular tapping sequence to bring you relief on that social anxiety related issue. And then by the end of that 10-minute video, you feel calmer or more at ease, or you have some insights or something that makes you feel better. So at the end of that video, you'll feel better. You're then invited to make a comment, though that is not mandatory at all. You can go through this completely anonymously. But lots of people, you'll see, because we've ran this 3 times now, will comment on there. So you see hundreds and hundreds of comments of other people going through the challenge, and that will inspire you, and so on and so forth. Day 2, it's the same thing. And all of this builds on each other. So first, we're creating a foundation. You're learning some tapping skills. You're learning some essential reasons for why you've been stuck and why other things you've tried haven't worked, or why your own tapping hasn't worked. And then we're beginning to build a bridge towards where you can see, okay, I can actually overcome this. So we'll cover things like the 5 stages to social ease, the 3 keys to social ease, the 21 milestones on the journey, and lots of other things like that.
Okay, thanks. So, what do you expect to be the daily time investment for
About
participation?
15 minutes. 15,
15
yeah,
minutes?
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Okay, and if I go through this program and I have social anxiety, what can I expect at the end of the 30 days? How much progress will I have made?
Mm. Well, I wish I could say by the end of the 30 days, you'll be free of your social anxiety forever, but that's unrealistic. However, one of the key things to getting hooked on overcoming your social anxiety is actually noticing real results. And when I initially started out tapping, it didn't really work for me. But once I went to a workshop, and the workshop leader helped me to properly tune into my blushing issue and then instructed me to do the tapping, I felt a real shift, because I was blushing in front of I was revealing that I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, which was like this big secret, and I was really embarrassed and ashamed. And that was in front of two women and the workshop leader. And then as I did the tapping, 2, 3 minutes later, I felt totally calm, and I could talk about it like, like what I had for breakfast. There was no emotion whatsoever, and I felt better. I felt more at ease. I felt more confident, and it was undeniable that a shift had happened. And that's what I hope for you to happen. And that's why we're doing tapping pretty much every single day, so that you get a couple of these little shifts or big shifts happening, so that it's undeniable that, wow, tapping really works. That being said, that's one of the goals. And what people typically report is feeling calmer, feeling less anxious, the critical voice not being so loud anymore, instead a development of self-compassion, not being as self-conscious or awkward anymore. Now, these are gentle changes that begin to add up, and it depends on how much you actually put into it. In other words, if you do 2 days versus if you do 30 days, you're going to have a massively different outcome. So that's why it's a challenge. So when you put in those things, you're going to make some progress. But what a lot of people report as the two biggest things that they get out of it is that they now have a tool to actually do something when they feel anxious. Because normally it's like, oh, I feel anxious. What do I have to do? Oh, try to change my thoughts, or, and they don't really know what to do. And now they actually have a tool to shift and change their emotions inside when they get anxious. So by the end of the challenge, you'll have a technique to chip away at the layers of social anxiety. And probably one of the biggest outcomes as well that people report is like, I now know for sure that I can overcome this. Whereas before, I tried all these things, nothing worked. I was very, very skeptical. But, through all of what we've experienced in these past 30 days, I now know I can tackle this. So I feel optimistic about my future. I'm excited to get going. I'm so grateful that I found this.
Mm.
So
Sounds really good. I will ask you later what happens after the 30 days, but first I wanted to ask, who is this for, and who is this not for?
Okay. It's for anyone who has social anxiety, whether that's social anxiety or social anxiety disorder, whether you've had that for a year, or whether you had it your whole life. Anyone who has social anxiety. Who it is not for is people who have compounding issues. So social anxiety plus. So this is not for you if you're suffering from severe depression, or if you're suicidal, or if you have bipolar, or other compounding issues. This is not for you. If you have a huge history of sexual trauma, this is not for you. Okay, you need to work with a therapist face to face over a period of time. Ideally, someone who works specialized in what you're dealing with. This is for social anxiety and social anxiety alone. Now, if you have mild depressed feelings related to social anxiety, then this can still be helpful. But when you actually have depression, this isn't for you.
So if I listen to this, I imagine this may sound too good to be true. I mean, it's free, you're making a lot of progress, you can do it from your own home. It's only 15 minutes investment a day, and you will feel so much better. So what is the catch?
Well, there is no real catch, in the sense that there's no hidden fees or anything like that. I put this out there to give you a taste of what's possible, to give you a taste of my work. Now, I've been doing this for 14 years professionally, and I've been trying to overcome my social anxiety for 22 years ago. I started, and it's very challenging to convince people that tapping really works, because you're like, oh, just tap here and then tap there and say these things and focus on these memories and fantasies and beliefs, and that's actually going to change your social anxiety, especially given the fact that lots of psychologists are telling you that the only thing that works is changing your thoughts and facing your fears. So this is to give you a true experience that this stuff does really work.
Amazing. So 30 days is quite a long time. How do I stay motivated in this?
Okay, that's pretty easy. Most challenges might be very difficult to do. If day one, my challenge is, okay, great, now go out and high five a bunch of strangers. You might not be there for day two because you probably won't even do day one. So this is motivating by itself because it's very simple and easy to do. Because it's like click on an email, read it, click on a link, tap along, feel better. And because you feel better and because you receive motivation, you receive perspective, you'll be spoken to and you'll be understood like never before. And you'll see so many comments of other people who are sharing the same kind of issues, the same kind of challenges that you're dealing with. And that already fosters self-acceptance. It's just really interesting and fascinating, especially given the fact that social anxiety is typically people's biggest secret. And now we're all together in this. Everyone is dealing with this problem. So it's a large group of like-minded people, all focused on an outcome of social ease, all doing it together. So it's something that feels really good. And when something feels good, well, you're naturally motivated to do it again. Now, that being said, in the beginning, you will have resistance to even starting. So it might be Jan 1st, and you're like, you might be hungover or whatever it is. You're like, oh, I don't want to do anything. I definitely don't feel like doing this challenge. Now you actually have to tell yourself, hey, how badly do I want to be free of social anxiety? Do I really want to continue living with this problem in my life? Or am I going to actually take charge of my life and change things in 2024? I have an opportunity now. And then force yourself to open your email and click. Okay. And then the first few days, you'll still have that resistance, but eventually you'll build momentum. And, if you make it past day 7, you'll probably soar all the way through the remainder of the challenge because it feels so good and you'll get so much out of it.
Right. It's also what the data shows, right? That if you
Right.
get to day 7, you're through. I mean, you're not
Exactly.
through, but you're
Yeah.
very likely to end. Okay.
Yes.
So what happens if I miss a day or even 2 because I'm sick or busy? Can I still participate?
Yes, you can. You can do a couple of things. One, you can just catch up because it's just 15 minutes, right? So it's very easy. You can do 2 in a day, half an hour. However, I really don't recommend that because it's very easy to go, you know what, I'm going to wait until Saturday and I'm just going to do all 7 in a row. Yeah. And then it comes Saturday. It's like, oh my God, 7 of these things. I'm just not going to do it. That's why I want you to do it every single day. Just 15 minutes. Make it your priority. Make time for it and make it your priority. Hey, this is what I'm going to do for myself this year. I'm going to be on my journey to social ease and I'm just going to do this. It's just 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes.
That sounds great. We do get that question a lot. January is a very busy time for me. I don't have the time. Can I do it later? Is there another challenge coming up soon?
This challenge, well, the previous 30-day challenge, we've ran 3 times and every time it's been for free. This one is also going to be for free, but we're considering the possibility of turning this 30-day challenge into an actual product after it. Not 100% sure. If you don't do it this year, then maybe next year, January, there will be a next one. However, I can't say that with guarantee. And this is not this is really how it is. I don't know what's going to happen. But basically the answer is if you miss this, you'll really miss it. And best scenario is you either have to pay for it if we're turning it into a product, or you have to wait 11 months for the next one if we're doing it.
What do people do after the challenge? So we imagine they finish 30 days, they feel amazing, they're
Yeah.
hopeful, they're
Yeah.
excited, and then?
And then that's why I said as well, this is also an introduction to my work. And I have a social confidence club that is our main way of helping people overcome social anxiety disorder. And we open the doors of that at the end of February. So if after the challenge you're like, oh my God, I want more of this, I want to get rid of the rest of my social anxiety, then there's an opportunity at the end of February in order to resolve the rest of it with the help of the club. Or you can continue using the tools that you've learned and chip away at it yourself as best you can.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Social Confidence Club for someone who's never heard of it?
Yeah, sure. So I started coaching in 2009. And after 3 years of coaching, I found myself doing certain things over and over. I'm like, I can put this into a program and then, offer that program. And so that was the social confidence system, version 1.0. I then improved that all the way to version 9.0 or 10.0 over a period of 6-7 years. And then even though people were reporting life transforming changes, there were also people that were saying, I can't get myself to do anything. I'm still stuck. This is too challenging for me. And then I realized, okay, people need more help. They need more assistance. They need community. And so that's why I created initially the social confidence community. That's 5 years ago. That has since evolved into the Social Confidence Club. And what we do inside the Social Confidence Club is you receive tapping lessons to boost your motivation every Tuesday. Every Thursday, you get a specific tapping lesson to chip away a layer at social anxiety. And on Sundays, we do group coaching. And throughout the year, because it runs indefinitely, but we go through 10 modules throughout the year. And the modules that we cover are things like overcoming shame, getting rid of social perfectionism, clearing your trauma, getting rid of anticipatory anxiety, setting healthy boundaries, boosting your self-esteem, getting over the fear of being judged, getting rid of the fear of being seen anxious, clearing all your social fears, like all of it. That's what we're all covering in detail. And on Sundays, this is the big thing of the club because we do live group coaching. And so what that looks like is we have a whole bunch of people in our Zoom screen, and I'll either coach one person and everyone taps along and gains the benefits from that, or I work with various people, or I work with the whole group, or we do social confidence challenges, which is a little bit like CBT. You make a fear hierarchy of the things that you're afraid of, and then you go do that in the real world. Well, we are creating a safe, non-judgmental environment where we're doing something similar. So we're doing social challenges like umming with the whole group, or introducing yourself, or things that are particularly uncomfortable or awkward or embarrassing that bring up the feelings that you're afraid of experiencing socially. And then we use the tapping to actually clear that. So it's a beautiful combination. So this is, instead of forcefully facing your fears, we bring up the thing that's so scary. Then in anticipation of doing that scary thing, we tap to clear the fear. Then we actually do it. And afterwards, we tap on any discomfort and any beliefs that came up so that you'll feel comfortable doing these awkward things here. You become more comfortable with awkwardness, embarrassment, and so on and so forth. And that then translates to the outside world. So the club is set up to gently help you feel more and more comfortable with more and more people, and to gently expand your comfort zone.
Sounds great. So it's like a structured online therapy program for social anxiety.
Right, yeah, exactly. Except for the fact that I'm a personal coach, not a therapist, but I'm very niche and super focused on overcoming social anxiety. So everything is overcoming social anxiety. Unlike other programs are, this and that and the other. This is really like get rid of social anxiety and become at ease socially. Yeah. And the 30-day challenge is very similar to that. However, it's more like the beginning stage of that, stage 1 or stage 2, if you will. And the club is more stage 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you could say the 30-day challenge will help you to cope better with your social anxiety, help you to reduce it. And the club is about being able to actually get rid of it all eventually.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask a mean question because I imagine for someone listening or watching could pop up in their mind that the 30-day challenge is just a promotional catch for the Social Confidence Club. What would you say to that?
It is.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, there's no promotional material that you find in the 30-day challenge at all. It's all pure value. However, it is promotional in the sense that I'm actually going to give you a true experience of what this approach can do. And yeah, if you then afterwards have made changes and you want more, there's an opportunity to continue with the club. Yeah, so yeah, it is promotional. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for clarifying that. And compared to other things that you put out there, like your podcast and YouTube videos and newsletters, how would you say is the 30-day challenge different? Like
Right. Yeah, the videos that I'm putting out there is just information. It's inspiration, and it's to give you a little taste of, well, not even to give you a little taste. It's more like to give you the perspective of what's possible with tapping. And then my typical invitation is to then join the 7 Secrets to Social Confidence mini course, because that takes you further. Because in a YouTube video, I can't, there's not that much that you can do. A social anxiety disorder problem is actually a complex issue. And so you need more information in order to be able to break it down. And what I can do with the 30-day challenge is I can have video 2 build on video 1, video 3 build on video 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. And that's how it is set up. So we'll have interviews with experts, like little bits of it. And every day there's a bit of tapping. And the beginning days of tapping prepare you for the changes that you make in the latter parts of the challenge. And so that's impossible to do on YouTube. Yeah.
Right.
And there's also a back and forth with all of the comments underneath it. And, I am altering what I'm releasing, what I'm writing about. I mean, most of it is pre-made, but I'm altering my approach based on what I get as feedback from the comments. Yeah. So basically, the quality that you're getting on my YouTube video, if we, type it into percentages, is maybe 15%, and the challenge is 100%. I don't hold back. I'm giving you his best, giving you the best of what I've got.
Yeah, that sounds intriguing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I have a personal question for you, and
Yeah.
I will prepare you for it. So let's see what you're gonna say. Um, So you've developed a lot of your work out of the need or desire to have a structured approach to overcome social anxiety, because when you were still suffering, there was nothing out there that was focused on social anxiety and that was
Right.
effective, and so on. So now I know this is speculation, but I would be interested, what would you guess? How long would it take you to overcome your social anxiety if you had access back then to your programs now?
um, to be honest, quite long still, because my social anxiety disorder was really bad. And it was multifaceted, and I also had some other issues to deal with, actually, other than just social anxiety disorder. So it would have taken me a fair bit of time. But this is a common question that people have, like, all right, how long is it going to take to overcome my social anxiety? And while I really understand that question, the better question is, what can I do right now in order to reduce it a bit? Because if you're not able to do anything about it, versus I'm able to interrupt this pattern, I'm able to feel a little bit less anxious, I'm able to, over a period of, 3 weeks, I'll be able to go from feeling 7 out of 10 anxious around my boss to feeling 3 out of 10 anxious around my boss. Or, it takes me an afternoon of tapping to go from beating myself up mercilessly after a social event for like hours and hours and hours to beating myself up for like 10 minutes and then going on with my day. Like, it's a lot of little changes that add up. People are looking at this way too black and white. It's like, all right, I'm either socially anxious or I'm not. No, it's not like that. It's like frequency, duration, and intensity of the anxiety begins to decrease. So the example that I gave with anxiety around your boss, whether you feel 7 out of 10 anxiety or 3 out of 10 anxiety, that is huge. That's life changing. If you beat yourself up after a social event for the whole evening, or you're done after 10 minutes, that's life changing. You're having more emotional well-being, you're coping better, you're more resilient. And the big changes are like, okay, I don't feel anxious anymore. But typically that's not okay, I don't feel anxious anymore in any situation, because usually people have gotten generalized anxiety. So it's not only with their boss, it's also with their colleagues. It's when they walk into the supermarket. It's when they're talking to the checkout counter, when they meet strangers, when they're the center of attention, da 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 da. And so you might have 15 scenarios in which you get anxious. Well, if you do the work to decrease that to 10 scenarios, your life is so much freer. And overcoming social anxiety is just a matter of applying the tapping to all these scenarios one by one until you're no longer anxious in any of them. And for some people, that is a matter of a few months. Other people, it takes much longer. Just depends. Yeah, but I got to be careful with what I'm saying, because if someone hears, okay, wait, more than a couple of months, this is not my, I don't want to do this. I need a quick fix. No, you need a technique with which you can make progress. Because when you make progress, you feel good and you feel like you're in control and you can do something about it. And you have no idea how good it can actually get, because it's actually not just about getting rid of the social anxiety, because social anxiety is a symptom of a deeper underlying issue. Poor self-esteem, lack of self-acceptance, perfectionism issues, poor boundaries. And so as you start doing this work, you're actually becoming more confident. You're becoming more at ease. You take life less seriously. You're able to laugh at yourself. You're calmer about things. You're more emotionally resilient. You feel more connected to people. You like people more. You get along with people better. Like, it is just amazing. You feel freer, you feel happier. It's like there's so much good that comes from actually doing this kind of work. So it shouldn't just be about, well, how long is it going to take? And to answer that real specifically, I've been coaching for 14 years and logged 6,000 coaching hours, hundreds of clients. And some people can resolve their social anxiety within 3 coaching sessions, 3 times 90 minutes. However, I'd say on average, it takes about 10 sessions. But that's with someone who's incredibly specialized at this. Basically, you need to do a lot of tapping over time, and then you can, free yourself of this.
Well, it sounds very inspiring to me, and as you know, I think a healing journey is it's just so much more than getting rid of some symptoms. I mean, that's the big relief in the beginning, but it's also about really discovering yourself and life and others, and like the world opens really if we go down that path, I would say. So curiosity is, in my opinion, a good mindset for it. But I want to ask you, what do you think? What mindset should someone bring on this journey? And yeah, how do we approach this?
Yeah, let's give this a committed try. That is a good mindset. You don't have to believe in it. You just have to actually take your skepticism and put it to the test. All right, let's see if this is really as great as this is spoken about, And then I say commit a try. And by that, I mean, okay, if you watch the first video and you're not free of your decades-long social anxiety disorder, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. No, give it a couple of days. Like you're really going to love this, and that's all I can say. Yeah, so give it a committed try.
Great. So where do people sign up?
Yeah, so this is the best pitch we can do, guys. We're behind the scenes always think about how can we communicate the value that we have in a way that's not contrived. And I said to Kati at the beginning, it's like, okay, well, we'll try to be as transparent as we possibly can. And, this is what it is. It is really amazing. Thousands of people have gone through it. The comments, we're revealing real comments from people every Tuesday on the podcast of their lives transformed. This is really, really incredible. So, you're going to love this. Come join us. Go to bit.ly/social confidence challenge. bit.ly/social confidence challenge.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And
Thank you,
I'm really
Kati.
excited for this to start.
Yes. And you'll see Kati in the comment section as well, by the way. Just
Yeah,
as me.
you will make me very happy with your comments because I'm a sucker for this. I love this. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you. bit.ly/social confidence challenge.